Alrighty, hello everybody. I'm really glad and happy that my camera's working today because I've been having struggles with that again, which is really annoying, quite very annoying. Fathom is just going to come on here because I don't know what's going on. I thought I had canceled this, but here we are. It's doing its thing. So, okay. Um, I appreciate your kind of, I wouldn't say patience, but like I figure since nobody's coming to the call, it would actually allow me to do this training a little bit more how I wanted to do it, instead of how I was going to do it. So, what's cool about this is that I was able to really quickly now create a little thing that I can send to you guys and you guys can actually utilize to give yourself a little bit of an idea. The goal is obviously to use the tool. And I was gonna say lose the tool. Don't lose the tool, but use the tool. And click skip. Okay, and whatever. I don't even know where this is. Um, and the ideal of this is to kind of give yourself an idea of where you're at with the grace, the patience, and all the things. And the thing that, sorry, the thing that I want to explain here is that we need to understand that what we're trying to do, like the end goal, whether it's to get healthy, to lose fat, to get off medications, to sit back in the driver's seat of your health, whatever the ultimate goal is, which it could be collective of a multitude of those, it is a skill. It's a skill. It is a skill that most of us have not been taught. It is a skill that most of us do not know how to do. Tracking food, it's a skill. Going to the gym, it's a skill. Doing all the things in the gym, it's a skill set. Understanding what your food is, understanding how to emotionally regulate and use other tools. This is all a skill set that nobody has taught us for the most part, right? I spent years trying to figure this one out on my own. Um, and here's what I'm going to tell you. This is kind of the shittiest part about it being a skill. Because there are so many skills, and there's so many that I didn't even put on here. I did a couple of different categories. I did some food, some movement, some boundaries, some emotional regulation, and I can't remember, maybe one more. And within these, there's a bunch of skills. And I only put, I didn't want to crazy overwhelm people, but I'm going to show you guys where my skill set lies and understand that the majority of them are going to fall under the category weak. If I am being honest, we are going to be weak at a lot of things. We are going to be developing in some things, and we are going to be exceptional and amazing and just like wow at like a few other things, like a couple of things. Like it's not going to be very many things that we're like, wow, we're really exceptional at all these things. We're not. We don't need to be exceptional at all the things, right? So part of this is to kind of show you like where you're at. And then the other part of this is to show you like you don't need to be exceptional everywhere. This is where we have that all or nothing, that like perfect mentality where it's like I need to be able to do all these things perfectly in order to get it right. So what I'm going to show you is something that I created because I loves it. And I'm loving starting to try to use like a what's this thing called? A visual, I think is what we call it, as a visual. And so I'm gonna go ahead, do, 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 and I'm gonna share my screen. Do not judge me for all of my guys up here. So, okay. Now I can't do this on here, so I will probably take it off the shared screen, but I want to show you this here as is, okay? So we have this triangle, right? We are going to be really great at only a couple things. The tippy top of this triangle, only a couple things are going to fit in here. I also find it really interesting, and it's probably like, I don't know, ironic. Nothing's ironic, I feel like. But notice how exceptional is the longest word in the shortest box, and weak is the smallest word in the biggest box, because there's going to be way more in there than there is in any other box. I guarantee it. Especially when we're brand new. especially when we're just starting, especially, and when I say just starting, I'm talking about people who are a year or less in this journey, like consistently in this journey. I'm not talking about people who have been trying and trying and trying and all these things. I'm talking about people who are a year less who have been showing up consistently. So you're talking 80% plus. Okay. So here are some of the things that I put in here with this, right? Tracking food without emotion, sitting with discomfort, holding your line when plans change, showing up without motivation, responding to scale fluctuations, eating normally after you overeat, saying no. I know many of us are weak at saying no. Choosing the next best decision, moving for consistency and not punishment, not panicking after we take days off, estimating when we're not tracking, letting others be uncomfortable. I gotta move my guy here. Choosing a non-food coping tool, tracking all your macros, understanding slow progress, eating differently without explaining to other people, having a plan. Oh, that should say went off plan, my bad. Because you know how good I am at spelling if you ever watch anything I do. Not overtraining after overeating, stopping before we hit the fuck it button, feeling stress without eating, building simple meals, staying neutral instead of being dramatic, not people pleasing with food, having a proper plan and programming for training. So when I say like these are just some of the skills, like these are all skills that most of us don't have. So what I want you to do is you're all going to get a link to this. I'm going to come off of here. You are going to get a link to this beautiful page. And what I'm going to show you is how I want you to utilize it. And you can't, unfortunately, I can't present and move these little guys. Okay, so I am exceptional, I believe, at building simple meals. I am developing at choosing a non-food coping tool. I can show up. I'm pretty exceptional at that without motivation. I am developing still and eating normally after overeating. I'm pretty good at estimating when not tracking. Now, guys, I want you to understand that a lot of these things I've been doing for fucking years. Okay. And it doesn't make me like perfect at it, but I would say I'm pretty solid at a lot of these things. And here's what else you're also going to know. You're going to find that a lot of the things that I'm weak in um, is emotional regulation. Okay. Is emotional regulation. So what I'm kind of doing right now is moving these into these little boxes. Now, like some of these don't fit into the boxes, if you will. Um, Stopping before screw it, tracking all macros, understanding slow progress. And a lot of these are also because I've just been in this game for so long that this is not how I started. Okay, so mine looks a little bit different, and I'm going to reshare the screen so you guys can see this. Mine definitely looks different, but you're going to notice that the skill sets that I think that I'm pretty exceptional at are all very non-emotional based for the most part. There's always going to be some kind of an emotion sort of tied into these, okay? But for the most part, you're going to notice, you're going to see where I'm super fucking weak is emotional regulation. You're going to see it. I'm just going to be super honest. Oh, I don't want the chat box open here. Just want to share. Okay, share my screen. So, as you can see here, oh, you could have seen me move them. All I had to do was this. Duh, ding dong. As you can see here, this is where I think I am. You're gonna see here, I'm the most weak at sitting with discomfort, cannot stand it. I don't like others to be uncomfortable. I'm a people pleaser. I don't do well tracking without emotion. I track. I'm great at tracking. I'm exceptional at tracking, but I don't do it at all very well without feeling a way about it. Okay. I don't do great at holding the line when plans change. I often say, oh, it's fine, not a big deal. Because in the back of my head, I'm always like, it's just a day or a meal or whatever. And then I can get back on track. And while that's okay sometimes, if I let it happen all of the time, which I tend to do, that's where it becomes the problem. Okay. Staying neutral instead of dramatic. We were talking about riding that roller coaster. Now, when it comes to fat loss, I'm pretty neutral. However, I will also say things in my business, I ride that bitch like a mother trucker, up and down and crazy, okay? And right now I'm in an extreme low in my business, which is then affecting other things that I do. It's affecting relationships that I have. It's affecting um, my ability to want to show up in my health. It's affecting all sorts of things. Things where I still feel like I'm developing, feeling stressed without eating. Sometimes I hit the fuck button when I'm stressed. Responding to scale fluctuations. I'm not sure that'll ever go away. I'm still going to work at it. I see a thing and I'm like, I get angry and I still want to throw the scale. It hasn't gone away. I'm still developing here. I'm definitely not exceptional. Okay. Eating normally after overeating. I would say that I'm probably in between on this. Sometimes I'm really good at it, sometimes I'm not. For the most part, I am, but I still think this is something that I'm still working through, right? Choosing a non-food coping tool. Not great at it. Why is that? I would actually probably put it here because I don't emotionally regulate very well. Okay. Not people pleasing with food. So kind of like not giving in to that thing. Or not just saying it's fine, it's one, it's whatever. Not panicking after days off. I wouldn't say I go into full-blown panic attack, but I am very extremely structured. So for me, it's like, yeah, I still like my structure. Um, and having a plan when off plan. Don't do well here. Right. So these are, I'm still developing it saying no. Why? Because I'm a fucking people pleaser. Okay. Hence people pleasing right here, right? Saying no. It's all okay. And when you go to the top, you're going to notice that the majority of these are tracking macros. I'm exceptional at that. Having a proper plan and programming. I'm exceptional at that. Eating differently without explaining. I tell people to fuck right off. However, I didn't used to do that. When I first started out, this was way down here. Choosing the next best decision, way down there. Okay. Building simple meals. I didn't used to be exceptional at this. I was always trying to like figure out all these fancy shits, right? Showing up without motivation. That's what kept me stuck in a cycle for 32 years. So clearly I did not start there. Estimating when not tracking. I think this is one of probably my most best superpowers that I have. I am pretty fucking on tracking estimation. Okay? I didn't used to be here. You want to know how I got really fucking good at tracking estimation? I tracked all of my macros. Everything I put in my mouth. Lettuce, tomato, mustard. I don't eat mustard, but just in case you do, right? I tracked it all. Some people are like, it's fine. You don't need to measure out the condiments, especially, like the sugar-free barbecue sauce. No, I still track it. I still tracked my lettuce. I tracked my tomatoes. I tracked my cucumbers. I tracked my peppers. I tracked. Why? Because I want to be so fucking good. I want to get so fucking good at this skill that I can do this. I can estimate when I'm not tracking and feel good and know I'm fucking close. Okay? It's a skill set. I didn't get good at estimation without first getting good at tracking, without first understanding what tracking was and how it looked, without starting to understand how to build certain meals. And you're going to see that these start to build and build and build upon each other, right? It started with understanding what a protein, carb, and fat is, and that 20 grams of chicken isn't 20 grams of protein. Then it started with understanding that. Then it started with building meals. Then it started when I was like, oh, I'm going to track all of my macros. Then it became, I can now estimate it, right? I've never been one to punish myself, so I typically don't to punish myself or overtrain after I overconsume food, right? I move for consistency, not punishment. Same concept. I have to understand that progress is slow. I'm exceptional at understanding it. This could probably go like here. I have my days, right? I have my days. Okay. A lot of times, as stopping before screw it, before you hit the fuck it button, I feel like I can kind of pull myself up out of it most of the time. Or I also go into it knowing like I'm just going to eat the rest of the bag of this chips and dip, and that's just going to be it. So it's not about screwing it, it's about owning it before I even do it. I'm like, I already know what's going to happen. Let's go. Okay. So this is where we are at. So what I am going to do is move all these off to the side again. They're all going to be conjumbled. And I'm going to make a click link copy. And I'm hoping that you guys are able, and maybe you guys can help me out with this, because I really don't know how that's going to work if everybody's moving it around. Damn. Anyone with a link? Hmm. I wonder if I have to like create it separate. I don't know. I'll have to figure out how I can actually get this to you where everybody can move their thing. But the whole point of this is to understand that this is the key piece. Fat loss is a skill set. It's not an emotion. It's not something you can buy out of a book. It's not something that you can get off the internet and out of, download a PDF. It's a skill set. Without action, you don't learn. Without action, you can't do it. You're not going to be successful. It's just period end dot. Okay. I'm really excited about this training. So, okay, I'm gonna have to figure out the back end of this. So give me a couple like minutes to drop this in if you don't see this link right away for the download, okay? But outside of that, this is kind of the idea. Okay? We have and you want to know what? We can even if all of yours and you feel like all of yours are in the week, there's nothing wrong with you. Some of you actually are developing, and some of you actually might need um, additional, right? Like some of us actually still might be working on eating at home. That's a couple of us in here. Working on eating at home. There's another one. I'm pretty good at that. Right? So it's like also if we can adjust these and you can like, oh, I can add my own. Like this is something that I actually need. Like that I actually need for myself, right? So these are just kind of, I wouldn't say generic, but very kind of like majority of what we're going to need in order to hit the fat loss that we want to hit. These are kind of them, okay? So, let me know any questions you got, any things that you have, and I look forward to hearing any feedback that you have from the training. Oh, and everybody, please hydrate and rest, okay? We're all feeling it. The ugh.